Hey, if you are over 40 and you feel like it's a little bit late for you now, it is never too late. I hope you can see that. On my t shirt, it says it is never too late. What do I mean? I want to say this with so much grace and compassion. You have experienced some things in life that have happened, and you may feel like you cannot recover. What I want you to look at is what you have now. I want you to do an inventory of what's working in your life, what's good, what's been working for some time, what supports you. I also want to add, if you have an issue with your parents, maybe they're not even here anymore, I want you to forgive them. It's a spiritual principle that will really help you. I want you to forgive your parents because they did what they did with the knowledge that they had. And maybe you have also become a parent and haven't felt like a great parent. This is a time where you release that pain, you release that tension. Even if your parents are not here, you can say, I forgive you, mom. I forgive you, dad. You only did the best that you could with what you knew. That's number one. Number two, I want you to forgive yourself. Any mistakes that you made in the past, I want you to get rid of that energy. I want you to let it go, to release it. Because as Maya Angelou said, when you know better, you do better, but you didn't know any better. So you did what you did, you made the choices that you made according to what you knew at the time. Here's another thing. Sometimes a not so great childhood can make us feel less than. You can feel as if other people are better than you, as if other people had a better start. If your friends, your peers seem to have had a better start, it's because perhaps their parents made certain decisions. Remember this. Their parents made a better decision. They decided somewhere along the line that they don't want their life to be like that. They don't want their children to be raised like that. They don't want to live a certain life. So they made certain decisions. That's why you saw that. So now it's on you to make a new decision. Life is always giving us a new opportunity. Every day, I like to say, is a reset. Every new day is a reset. It's a time where you look at what you've got and you decide what could possibly work. An important thing in coaching is to do an inventory of what works for you, what you're good at, what you enjoy, what comes naturally to you. It is so amazing out here. And as you look at what you're good at and you enjoy, really enjoy, not because somebody said it's fun and other people appreciate it, but because you enjoy it and you feel it's like therapy for you, it's like therapeutic. And I'm not talking about retail therapy, because retail therapy without a business plan, without a way to 10x your income, without a way to double or triple your income, it's like paycheck to paycheck, you know, all that. I want to encourage you, if you're over 40, I have a 6 month program where we look at your skill sets and how to monetize your skill set. Because some of us have so many different skill sets that can easily help you create your own life by design, not because of your age, not because of your background, but because of your skill set and your mindset. Your skill set and your mindset, right? And realizing that life is always bigger than us. Every challenge we face has a part to do with who we are becoming. There are things I've gone through in my own life that I felt like there was a time I wasn't wise. I was like, why did that have to happen to me? Why did this and why did that? But now I'm wiser. I realize, oh my goodness, I'm actually so grateful, if I may say so, for some of the challenges I experienced, because I realized that the human spirit can overcome a lot of things. It's becoming intentional, deciding, how do I move forward now? Because maybe your experience is rejection upon rejection. I'll give one example. You've probably seen this phrase, rejection is redirection. It hurts at the time, And your ego is like, oh, well, if they don't see this, their loss. Okay, that's one way to look at it. Another way is to think, oh my goodness, I just dodged a bullet. Oh my goodness, they played me and I didn't even know that. And coming to this place of acceptance, like, wow, I can also be played. Oh, I can also be tricked. It's really, really helpful to be honest with yourself that you are a flawed individual, you're not perfect, and you need God's grace, you need God's wisdom. Even those of you who are in ministry already, trying to build a successful ministry, um, the Bible talks about the heart. The heart. That is why I love coaching, because coaching helps you to go through some things that you may not have been willing to face, and understandably so, because it's just too much. But the day you decide to face the things that scare you the most, that's it. Because whatever used to scare you, whatever you were not willing to face, you now decide to face it. It's like, what else is there to scare you? You become unstoppable. You may face different challenges as you grow because every challenge is an opportunity to grow. Every challenge is an opportunity to learn. And learning is responding differently to the same situation. So, will you decide today as you're watching this video, like, you know what, Coach Meg, I've been watching you, I've seen you online, I've seen you on different platforms. I need somebody who cares and understands what it's like to face all these different things and not know how to move forward from them. You can move forward by taking one day at a time. You can move forward by deciding today, I'm going to balance my hormones. One of the things I enjoy about exercise, like coming to this amazing park to walk here, is because it balances out my hormones. I feel good about who I am. I remind myself I'm strong enough. I remind myself I am grateful for the body that I've been given, and I want to take the very best care of it because my body also speaks to me. And I have to train my body to endure hard things like a good soldier. I have to train my body to pick up on what's not right for me. You see, when you take care of your body will take care of you. When any illness tries to come, it has to go. It's not welcome. It's passing through. Go. Pass on. Yes? So that's one way of balancing your hormones. Another way is to meditate when you begin in the morning. Because you see, what we think about on a continuous basis has a chemical reaction. There's a chemical reaction to how we think. There's always a chemical reaction. For example, a vision board. I remember on my own journey, several years ago, I looked at the circumstances I was in at the time that I got into, I put myself in a situation that was too big for me. I wasn't ready for it. But it was also an opportunity for me to grow. So anyway, I remember just sitting in this coffee shop. I've shared this story. If you don't know part of my story, I share different parts of my story according to the need of my audience. But I want to say this about how, because this is like those of you who are Bible readers who love the Word of God, faith, you can actually feel it. So as I was contemplating about the direction of my life, I felt like I'm at a crossroad. I had made this important decision. I didn't know how to get out of it. Some of you watching me may even know what I'm talking about. Some of you have no clue, but never mind. I'm just using it as an example. So I sat in this coffee shop and I was thinking about it, because thinking is really good work. Thinking is the hardest work. The willingness to think long and hard about something is the highest compensation skill that you can develop. People who think earn better. People who are willing to think do better in life. People who are willing to think step into opportunities. People who are willing to think are ready for new opportunities. So Anyway, as I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about it, and then I just had this divine inspiration. That's the way I'll say it. I just felt like God was inspiring me to think bigger than where I was. It was just like an epiphany. I realized I didn't have to stay there. I can start working somewhere else. I can create a whole new life. Because you may see me here and, I'm talking on social media. I'm happy. I'm confident. Sometimes I don't even put lipstick on because I love who I am. And I'm grateful for who I am because I'm one of those weird people that believes I am more than what you see on the outside. That's why people can be tripping over you. But I'm like, that's okay. I know who I am is more than what you see on the outside. And I'm comfortable in my own skin. I am grateful for who I am. I am happy for who I am. I love who I am. Did you hear what I just said there? My body is listening. My cellular memories are listening. Every cell in my body can hear this. This is important. So anyhow, as I was sat there thinking about it, I'm realizing from this divine inspiration, it was just like, I don't even think I was praying, but now I realize prayer is your thinking, your talking, prayer is everything. You're speaking what you're expecting, what you're asking for. And this plan started unfolding in my mind. And I think it's Jack Canfield who talks about this chicken soup of the soul. I haven't read the whole book, but I read some snippets. Focus all your energy on where you're going, not where you are leaving. And this is how life gets exciting. If you're not happy with where you are, I'm giving you a free secret tip if you've never heard this before. Start visualizing a different place because that's what I started doing. It is so interesting that when I landed at Heathrow Airport, it felt like I'd been there before. There's different terms people use, but this, I'm using it from a biblical point of view. As I landed at Heathrow, it was like, wow. And God gave me a promise while I was on that flight. And you see, God is not a man that he should lie, nor the Son of Man that he should change his mind. What he has promised you, no matter what messes you go through, no matter what decisions that are not right that you make on your journey of life, if you are willing to get back to God, because this is where the power is, he will redirect you and get you back on the journey that he has already designed for you. In fact, he uses even part of your mistakes as part of your story. So you win either way. And I'm not saying you intentionally make dumb decisions. No, that's not what I'm saying. That's on you. A very quick tip on that. If you are a person of faith, peace is your normal. Peace is your normal every single day. When you start losing your peace, something's off. Pay attention. What is that? Slow down. Don't make a decision. Don't call that person. Don't go online. Just pay attention. What is that? What is that? Why? Right? Pay attention. Your body. That is why we take care of our bodies. That's why we take care of our spirit man. Spirit, soul, and body. So as I was leaving that restaurant, I felt energized. Suddenly, the circumstances I was in, they were just like, not a big deal. I was just like, who cares? Because I felt empowered. I felt strong. I felt bold. I felt, yeah. I felt liberated from the shackles that I had created by myself. Self-imposed limitations, it's a real thing. It's not a joke. I didn't know I would be confidently talking on social media, coaching and inspiring and talking to business owners how to grow your business with web design and online marketing, which is one of the things I do, by the way. If you're listening and you're like, I need some help and support, I have some templates, I have some packages that you can use all by yourself. Or if you need somebody to support you along the way, that's what we can also do. So wherever you are now, this is so helpful. If you want to change how you're feeling about your situation, change what you are focusing on. Your body will have a chemical reaction. Hebrews 11 talks about, the hallmark of faith. People who accomplish things by faith. Because there's nothing in your story, nothing in your background that looks like where you want to go. There there is nobody in your background who's done that before, who stepped out of their comfort zone, who overcame the fear. I know people in my own people group who have been crippled with fear. They have never moved from where they were born, ever. They have never moved. And by God's grace, whatever God leads me to do, so shall it be. Because you see, we have to overcome these different mindsets. Sometimes the opportunity that God has for you is way out of your comfort zone, and you have to be willing to get out of it. You have to be willing to get out of your comfort zone. That is growth, right? So, if you want to change how you feel about who you are and what's possible for you, start dreaming again. Not because I said it, this is for you. Do your own research. Go online now. Go and search PubMed. PubMed is a powerful resource for scientifically based studies. Go to PubMed. PUBMED online. PUBMED. Scientific studies, the human experience. Because there are people of faith who don't understand. You have to understand human development. You have to understand personal development. There are people who've studied this for years. Just because you're a person of faith doesn't mean you understand it. I know people of faith who their life is moving in circles, and respectfully, my heart goes out to them. They haven't been exposed to the right information usually. As a human being, we're supposed to understand ourselves. And I was just listening to a really amazing message about personal discovery. Understanding who you are, your gifts and talents and abilities. But more importantly, number one, discovering God. Ooh. Discovering God for yourself, however little bit you start, is a game changer. I remember when God led me to read Romans 5 verse 8, while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Whew. Talk about life-changing. Life-changing, absolutely life-changing, because at that moment right there, I received an understanding of the grace of God that was on my life that I'd not even been aware of through all the things, because of religious background and training, where you just, everything is legalistic. If you don't do this, if you don't do that, I started to understand, oh my goodness, it's like the other one. While we were in our trespasses, trapped in our trespasses, God raised us up and seated us with Christ in heavenly places. Do you know how much authority you have as a person of faith, as a believer? But we have to be willing to go through the tests, the growth, understanding what God gave you. And this is what stops you from being a spectator in life, where you become a leader of your life, not a follower. So to change how you're feeling about your life right now is start dreaming. I want you to do this for me. Here's some homework for you. This is all free. I want you to do an inventory of what you're good at. And while you're writing those things down, really see it and be like, wow, I am grateful for this. This is not pride. This is a weapon. This is a weapon. Self-worth, self-esteem, self-value. Because the enemy will come after your identity. Liars will come after your identity. Somebody will want to trade you for what you've got that is great for something less than. They will want to offer you something less than. You cannot accept less than. You have to be willing to do this homework that I'm giving you now. Yes, please do that. And as you're writing down what you're good at and you enjoy it, now start to think, how can I create an income from this? Now, this is for you specifically if you know that you want to change your working life, you want to spend quality time with loved ones, you want to make new friendships, or you want to start dating again, or you want to support your aging parents, or you want to support your extended family because you realize there is no person who's going to change the story of your family. You are the one. And that comes with its challenges. Here comes Coach Meg. I know what it's like to be a first generation believer and the challenges that go with it. Changing how you see yourself and seeing your story from God's perspective, from a higher vantage point is a game changer. Everything starts to make sense. You're like, oh, okay. Now I understand what my challenges are, what my enemies are. My spiritual enemies, not humans. Humans are just little people that the enemy uses to try and stop you. So you forgive people quickly. You forgive people quickly. And that is not to say you continue a relationship with them, because how can light and darkness have fellowship? You cannot have fellowship with somebody who's walking in darkness. It doesn't even make any sense. They have different plans, they have different agendas, and they're highly likely working against the plan of God in your life. I know people who claim to be Christians, but, in a dream, God shows me something about them. Scary, right? And it wasn't like for me to like, oh, this is what I saw about you. No, I just prayed about it and I just moved different because God showed me something about them. And I'm like, I know God loves them, but their plan and agenda right now, we're not on the same journey. So I'm going in a different direction. I want to say this. I want you to become so secure in your relationship with God that God is a good father, that you can also take correction and not feel insecure about correction. The Bible tells us that, right? Correction is for sons. Sons, when they're corrected, they don't get offended and have puff and all these tantrums and all this. Even if they do, they will come back like, okay, you know what, you're right. I remember at one point, I just felt like God was telling me something. I was just like, no. I was so secure in my relationship. I am so secure in my relationship. I was able to just like, no, I know. But then later I'm like, I'm yours, you are mine. You know how to make it work. Because at the time I was going by my old mindset. God knows how to watch over his word and perform it. Your part is just to agree. And that's what the miracle is. That's where the miracles happen that you're not even expecting, you're not even planning for them. Serendipity. It's like something starts to happen, an opportunity opens up. God watches over his word to perform it. And listen to this. This is another part. Some of you, what I'm saying here is just a reminder. God's word has inherent power. It works by itself. So if you feel forgotten, abandoned, or feeling stuck, or like purposeless and all this, or it's too late for me, get in touch with me. We're going to look at how we can rebrand your brand. What your brand is, your personal brand, what you care about, what is important to you. That may not necessarily have anything to do with church. It could be something that you enjoy doing in the marketplace. You could be a painter. You could be an artist. You like knitting. You love cooking. It could be something you're not even trained for. Some of us, the training we got, is because there were not enough universities at the time. Some of us were not exposed to as many options as we have now online. So many of us perhaps are getting caught in this feeling of, okay, what do I do now? Am I too old for this? You are never too old. Okay, let me make it real. Maybe you're like, okay, what is she actually talking about? What I'm saying is this. Wherever you are in your work now, right? You invest in you work with a coach, and then on that program that you decide, you're like, okay, I'm good, I'm ready for this, I'm tired of my excuses. You decide, okay, this is what I need doing. You don't even need to be doing all the work yourself. There are people who will pay, people who you can pay within reason. I've been in the online space for a while. Access to resources, here we are. Somebody can do the lead generation for you. The website will be done. My company also does that. We can do websites for you and online marketing. We put up a strategy and we work through that. You can do live streaming as a way of generating leads. Whatever your thing is, maybe you don't like showing your face, faceless marketing. All the resources are there. People are making 6 figures doing faceless YouTubes. YouTube marketing YouTubes. That sounded nice, YouTubes. I don't know why I like that. YouTubes. Anyhow, I want you to know this. There is no problem you are facing right now that cannot be solved. Number one, we bring it before God. Father God, lead us, give us wisdom. Because when you're working with a wise coach, it's about co creating. I'm supporting you, and you're doing your part, and we are running the race together. Yes? Some of you, there is nobody who can help the people you are supposed to help until you decide to rise up. You have to be willing to rise up. There are people only you can reach, and do not despise the days of small beginnings. Do not despise your small, what you think is a small gift, because the world has made you think what other people have is bigger than yours. How do you know what's hiding in your small little gift? Your little jar, your little pot of oil. How do you know what is in there? Do you know there could be billions from your little bit? But you've accepted the conditioning of the world that what you have is not big enough? I was listening to this entrepreneur. She's one of 20 in the United States to create a $1 billion brand. She said for 10 years nobody wanted to invest in her company. Nobody, absolutely nobody. You can check her out, her company, Kendra Scott. Nobody wanted to invest in her company. But when she started making real money, the investors were now chasing her. And that is the problem. I am not in that industry, but I want to say this as a wise coach. Stop waiting for people to invest in you. Show people what you got. Show people what you got. Show people what you've got. You can't hide your gifts and talents, yes? So I think I have inspired and encouraged you and caused you to move and take action. Like what you have is enough. Do not limit. That could be conditioning from either your career or your parents or financial struggles. Financial struggles can make you feel less than, like you don't deserve. You change that story for your family. Please do that. Change that story for your family. And on that note, if you like what I've said, you're just like, Coach Meg, I like what you're saying. You don't need to hear anymore. I've said enough on here. 6-month coaching program, and it can be 12 months. If you really want to do well, give yourself 12 months. Give yourself 12 months. You'll hear a lot of information online, and a lot of it can be confusing. There are false teachers in every industry, including religious circles. That is why I highly recommend be the leader. Do your research. Go and check. How much can you generate from doing email marketing? Go and do the research for yourself. This is me being really clear and transparent. How much can you generate if you learn email marketing? Check it for yourself. How much can you generate? Second one, doing webinars, webinar presentations for your business. How much? How big is the webinar industry? Do the research for yourself. How much can you generate on Etsy? ETSY. There are people who it has worked and people who it hasn't worked. Be wise who you listen to. How much can you generate on Amazon? There are people making it work on Amazon and other people are not making it work. So choose who you listen to. Another one, arbitrage. Renting out a spare room in your home, or a few homes as service accommodation. Just check what the legal requirements are in your area and rent out that room. Rent out those 2 rooms. Make it really nice so you can attract a high caliber of clients. In my travels, I've lived in some Airbnbs, oh my word, like for a week, and I'm like, why did I book for a week? Oh my goodness. It was just like, it's her. But hey, it is what it is. Then before you know it, the money that you generate from your Airbnb, you can now set up a website, set up your online marketing, get in touch with Coach Meg. And before you know it, you start generating new leads. You be a leader, not a follower. And here it comes. Do not be easily offended. When somebody's speaking and you think like, oh, they're too much, oh, they're this and that. You can learn something from everyone. You can learn something from billionaires, millionaires, 6 figures, working class, homeless people. people on the streets, cleaners, chefs, cooks. Do not be fooled by a person's temporary status. Do not be let that fool you. We can learn something from everyone. You can learn from Coach Meg on a video, right? Okay, listen, get in touch with me. There'll be a link somewhere down below. Wherever you're watching this, get in touch with me and let's work on your plan because you know, you only have one life, right? We only have one life. Be a leader, not a follower. Do the research with the tips that I've given you and then get in touch with me. I have some spaces. There's no rush. It is up to you. And I have, you know, different packages. We can do, when we do the coaching, is we do an inventory and audit of what you're good at, and then we look at what your day-to-day is, what your patterns are. And let me just say ahead of time, I only work with people who are driven, people who understand. I just need a few ideas to get this moving because ideas are life-changing. Ideas change your life. There are people who've been watching me on TikTok when I've been doing live streams. I said, Coach Meg, ideas are life-changing because of some of the ideas you've shared on the live streams. They didn't even join my coaching. They're like, everything has changed for me. I'm doing good. I was like, this is the proof. That's a social proof when people tell you, even without joining the coaching program. So imagine if you join the coaching program, what level you will get to. Because this is not just about making money. It's about lifestyle design. That's my thing. Lifestyle design. How do you want to live your life? Do you want to live a life where you're stressed out, wondering about how am I going to afford this? How can I manage this? Or even in relationships, you're dealing with toxic people. People are childish, immature, who biologically they should know better, but they refuse to change. And because, you see, this is the thing. There are things that we allow in relationships that are not normal. You have to decide, this is not normal, this is hurting me, this is dysfunctional, we can't solve problems together. And that's where the sacrifice comes in. It will hurt a bit. Just for a minute, it will hurt a bit. But you'll be okay. I appreciate you. See you on another video. Listen, if you are not following me, you will find me on YouTube, Coach Meg London. I'm on TikTok at Life by Design, Coach Meg. I'm on Instagram, also at Life by Design, Coach Meg. I'm on X, Meg Washanga on X. I'm here on Facebook. I think this is on Facebook. Eva Digital Marketing is the business page. Go and sign up. I'm also on LinkedIn. And let's do this. Build your amazing life. Why not? Give yourself the permission and the freedom to live life on your terms. Now remember, it's a process. Work through the process. Imagine giving yourself 6 months to a year to build your dream lifestyle, where you can travel around the world where you want. Because it's about mindset. Even now, some of you have been listening and, you know, your mental blocks, your filters, however you hear, I don't know what you're hearing, and it will just be like nothing. But there's some of you, you're like, I'm taking action. I can hear her. I know what she's talking about. If I'm willing to do my own research and work with a coach, there we go. So appreciate you. See you on another video.